So the bike now is officially a roller. There's still quite a bit of work that needs to be done, but this is the first time it's had the bike shape with the wheels on it. It's standing up by way of the jack, the kickstands on order. Yeah, officially a roller. So just wanted to go over some of the things that I've done, some of them more minor than others. I did get the air intake that goes onto the carburetor. It's the same one that I had on the other bike, and again, I like the way that it tucks into the side of the frame and keeps the profile pretty neat. The way this carburetor is angled, the profile doesn't bring the carb in quite as close as it does on the other bike, but still a fan of the way that it's shaped and curves into the bike. I also got the key ignition set up on the bike. This is the 12 volt key ignition. I'm going to be doing 12 volt electronics since the Life and Motor has the 12 volt system. So that's in place and solid. The next thing was the wheels. There's a couple things that I needed to do on the wheels. For the front hub, I actually had a hub already from the 1976 bike, so I had to clean up both the brake portion here and the hub itself, and then spray painted it a silver color. Overall came out pretty good and not a bad match to the rest of the wheel. I also had some comments on these wheels from Trail Buddy. A few things. One is I'm not a fan of how right here, I'm not sure if it focuses or not, but it's actually engraved with the size. It says 2.5 by 10. It says it on both sides, so that's printed like that on 4 different parts on the bike. I'm not sure why they had to do that. That seems like it could have been a sticker or something that I could remove. So I'm not a fan of the way that looks. And then regarding the hardware that came with it, or that I purchased separately, the nuts that go inside of the hub here, you can see just slightly aren't big enough. So I had to stick a screwdriver inside, wedge it in to keep it tight as I cinched it down, and then I try to recenter so that at least they look pretty good. And actually, they mentioned that on the website, so I'm not complaining about that. But what I didn't like was the fact that these bolts have that hold the two halves together were initially this size bolt, and you can see here the size difference between the two. But I went to Ace and just bought a different size that sits perfectly flush. The way that it should be. That's the way that the original bolts were, or at least that they were on the other bike, and I don't see why you'd want to have them sticking out. So other than that, the wheels went together okay. A problem, though, that I ran into with this setup was that I'm using the hub and the bolt and spacer from the 76 bike. If you look here, the bolt is too long, and there's also an additional space. So apparently, since the 1976 bike has the different oil-filled shocks, the bolt is definitely different. I'm hoping that the spacer is also different, because otherwise I can't explain away the space that I have here. If I try to cinch it down, the legs definitely bow inward. And I measured the center from the top bolts from here to here was 6.5 inches, and it's currently 6.5 inches from here to here without it cinched down. So this seems to be the right spacing. Need to figure out if this spacer is the wrong one. So I ordered from CHP the correct bolt for the 1970 HK0 and also their spacer. It's a different part number, so I'm hoping it's slightly bigger, but we'll see when I get it before I can finish up the front wheel here. But otherwise, once I get the correct bolt and hopefully the changed spacer, the front wheel will be done. In the back here, I have to add the rubber insulators here. I need to order the rear gear. I'm probably going to do a 35 tooth again. And then I have the plastic plate and the large C-clip on order to complete this side. I already have a new chain for it, and we'll be ordering the 17 tooth gear for the front like I did on the other bike. And then on this side, this hub that I ordered from Dr. CT70 from eBay came with the brake and the hub already assembled. And there's a couple of the spring here that holds the connecting rod. A few pieces on order, but I should have everything in the next week or so to finish that out, get the chain on, and have the drive system then complete. I've also ordered a few other things, including the aluminum badge that goes here on the main part of the frame. I've seen a lot of vinyl stickers on eBay, but CHP had the actual aluminum ones that looked a lot more genuine. I'm really happy with the way that this sticker came out. The spacing and overall look came out really clean. And then the last thing that I've done is install this VIN plate. The original VIN plate was in too poor of shape to try to reuse. So I ordered this off eBay, and you can see here how I had it engraved with the serial number, just kind of blocked out the rest of the numbers here for privacy. I went back and forth though. I started off using the tap-in nails that it came with, and then it also came with regular rivets. The tap-in nails didn't seem to be firm enough, so I tried to use the rivets. The top rivet was perfect. The bottom rivet actually broke before it pulled the pop out. I filed down the burr for now, but they said they'd send me an extra rivet, so I'm going to drill this out and put the new rivet in, and then this will look perfect. Some advice though, because I had to take this off for the first time. It comes as a flat plate, and I tried to pop in the rivets and then push down the sides, but it just wasn't enough bend to get it to stick. So what I ended up doing was pulling it off and then using it on a more curved part of the bike, like here, that has a more narrow diameter. Curving it with this first to make sure that I get the curvature that I want, and then moved it back up here, took off the backing of the tape and taped it on to get it on. Now it's stuck all the way down the sides and is actually very well mounted. It's just a matter of me getting this bottom rivet here repaired. And again, it's not even a big deal. It's hard to notice, but something that I do, so want to get it fixed. So I've got the handlebars on order, a lot of other odds and ends. After I get the drivetrain complete, I need to get all of the controls set up on the handlebars. Then I need to do the gas tank, and we can finally do an engine test, although I've already had this engine on the other bike, so I know that it's going to run just fine. And then the saddle and headlight bucket and other odds and ends. And it should only be a few more videos before this bike is done. I almost forgot to capture the prices on some of these things. So the complete rear hub that I bought off of eBay was $98, and that included the hub itself as well as the brake component, including the brake pads. The air filter from eBay was $9. The key ignition system was $9, and the additional hardware that I bought from Ace was $5 total. Let me know what else you guys are interested in seeing. I do have an upcoming video on the new intake system for Man in the Box that I'm installing in my 2019 Honda Monkey, and the Cameron Jones Racing ECU flash that has the map for the RS3 race exhaust and that intake. So that's supposed to actually have a couple of horsepower increase, which is a pretty big jump for a bike this small. I also have some videos upcoming that'll have drone aerial footage of riding a couple of these bikes around and some other things. Thanks for watching.